Clifford stocked shelves at a grocery store nobody remembers the name of. He was 43, divorced, no kids. He'd worked the overnight stock shift for 11 years, and most days he could tell you the exact number of cans of green beans on aisle 6 without looking twice. He used to want more than this. He just couldn't remember when he stopped. Clifford grew up the kind of poor where the lights got shut off twice a year, and his mother worked 2 jobs so he wouldn't notice. He noticed anyway. He learned that dreams were expensive and disappointment was free, so he stopped dreaming to save money. It seemed like the responsible thing to do. He took the stock job at 22. Temporary, he told himself. 11 years is a long temporary. Every night was the same. Truck comes in at 11 p.m., unload, stock, face the shelves so the labels line up perfectly, because if you're going to do a thing, you might as well do it right. Go home when the sun came up and sleep through the day like a man hiding from something he couldn't name. He wasn't unhappy, exactly. He'd just gone quiet in a place inside himself that used to be loud. Then Mr. Alvarez started coming in. Every night, around 2 a.m., an old man in a flannel jacket walked in and bought exactly one thing, a small carton of milk. Clifford assumed insomnia at first, maybe loneliness. Turned out to be both. If a story like this is speaking to something in you, hit subscribe right now. Every week we bring you stories about ordinary people who found their reason again, and the moment that changed everything.
One night, restocking cereal, Clifford found Mr. Alvarez just standing in the aisle, staring at a box of oatmeal like it owed him money. "You look like a man who's disappeared," Mr. Alvarez said, not even turning around. Clifford laughed it off, said he was just tired, that's all, long shift. "I didn't say tired. I said disappeared. That's a different thing entirely." Clifford went quiet. Then, for reasons he still can't fully explain, he sat down right there on a shipping crate in the middle of the cereal aisle at 2 a.m, and he told this stranger everything. He talked about the mother who worked herself sick so he could have shoes that fit. He talked about the dream he used to carry around like a secret, actual architecture, real buildings with his name on the blueprints, the kind of thing that felt too big to say out loud as a kid from his neighborhood. He talked about the associate's degree he'd finished in drafting and never used, because life got loud and the stock job paid the bills on the 1st of the month, every month, no surprises. Mr. Alvarez listened, not the way people listen when they're waiting for their turn to talk. He actually listened. Then he said the thing Clifford couldn't shake for weeks afterward. "You built a whole life around not disappointing anybody. But son, what about you? Who's supposed to be disappointed for you?" It turned out Mr. Alvarez used to run his own construction company. 40 years of buildings still standing across 3 counties. Schools, a library, a firehouse his grandson now worked out of without knowing his grandfather poured the foundation. His wife had passed the year before. The house had gotten too quiet, and the 2 a.m. milk runs were really just an excuse to be around people who didn't know enough about him to feel sorry for him. After that night, he started bringing Clifford things. Old sketches, actual blueprints from jobs decades gone. He'd unfold them on top of the cereal boxes and point at a load-bearing wall or a roofline and ask Clifford what he saw. Clifford saw everything. It turned out none of it had left him. It had just been buried under 11 years of green beans and quiet mornings.
One Thursday, Mr. Alvarez didn't come in. Not the next night either. Clifford found out from a neighbor 3 days later. Heart attack, in his sleep. Peaceful as anyone could hope for. Clifford stood in aisle 6 that night with a box of cereal in his hands and didn't stock a single item for almost 20 minutes. Then he went home, sat down at a laptop he hadn't opened in years, and enrolled in the certification course he needed to get back into drafting work. 18 months later, Clifford works for a small architecture firm downtown. He's not the lead yet. He's not rich yet. But he draws buildings again. And every set of blueprints he signs off on Some small part of him thinks about an old man, a carton of milk, and an oatmeal box that started it all. He tells the new hires at the firm something now, usually on their first week. Don't wait for someone to notice you've disappeared. Notice it yourself. Nobody's coming to save you from a life you built out of caution. You have to want the other thing, more than you're afraid of losing this one. Here's what Clifford proved. Sometimes you don't lose your purpose all at once. You misplace it, one ordinary shift at a time, until a stranger who buys milk at 2 a.m. asks you one honest question you weren't ready for. So here's your challenge. Think about the thing you used to want before life got loud and responsible and quiet. Ask yourself, when did you stop wanting it? And who were you before that? Sit with that question for 3 days. Don't rush the answer. It already knows where you are. If Clifford's story reached you, subscribe. This is the channel for you. And if this reminded you of someone who changed your path without ever knowing it, send it to them today. Like this video if Mr. Alvarez's words found the right person at the right time. They usually do.